Hi, I'm Liv, and I'm here to tell you about a Thrifty Notions February featured fabrics collection. These are the fabrics we think are extra special, and we want to share them with you and tell you a little bit more about them so that you know a little bit more, because shopping online is a little tricky. Our February collection is kind of based loosely on like a grandma's house vibe. So the names kind of reflect that, and some of the things we do this month with our emails and our new video series, 3 Thrifty Things, will be kind of related to that theme. I like to start with the synthetics usually. First up, this is a poly rayon blend called Pewter Mug. It's very flowy, as you would expect from a rayon. And we called it a crepe just for lack of a better word. It's not super crinkly, but it's just a floaty fabric. And crepe seemed like the closest word to describe it. So that one's Pewter Mug. Next up is a chiffon called Herbal Tea. It's this beautiful kind of rusty floral, nice and sheer. So overlays on things like dresses and skirts, or you could just be a little bit saucy and go ahead and make a blouse or something out of this, and that would also be super, super hot. Sometimes you need to be super hot. Okay, this one's called Elderberry Syrup, and it is a satin-backed moleskin. What the heck is that? So satin on the back. The front is a thing called moleskin, which is kind of a brushed fabric that resembles suede. So things like jackets and skirts are really cute out of this. I don't know that I would do trousers just because the friction might just get to be a little too much. So you could also do something like a dress out of this. But you've also got this nice satin backing, so if you do make a jacket or something, it's already essentially lined. It's like smooth on the inside, which is nice. Also makes for some interesting opportunities to do details like piping. You can do the back side, use the back side of the fabric and do like a shiny piping along the edge of the jacket, lapel, or like on the pockets. Or if you wanted to do like a pocket detail for that hem at the top of a pocket, if it's a patch pocket, you could flip around to the satin side and just kind of have a little fun playing with textures and shimmer there. All right, another sheer fabric here. This one's called Fond Memory. I don't remember if we called this an organza or a chiffon. It's a little bit in between as far as drape goes. Organza tends to be stiffer and more like poofy. You can make big poofy princess sleeves out of an organza. Chiffon tends to be a little more fluid, actually really fluid. This one's sort of in the middle. So I don't remember what I called it, but it'll be in the slide. Fond Memory is what you need to know if you want this beautiful leaf print, gauzy goodness. All right, this one is basically home dec, I think. You could do something very dramatic clothing-wise. Like it's sort of a satin. It's got all kinds of textures woven into it, so it's hard to describe, but it is this beautiful kind of stripe. It's not a border print because this is a repeating stripe. This thing right here repeats every so often. So probably home dec, things like curtains or throw pillows or things like that, unless you just want to get really edgy and creative with your clothing, which you can totally do. This one's called Album, and it's an acrylic suiting. So it's got this nice slubby chunky thread woven together into this just really pretty fluid suiting fabric. It's nice and soft. It is a little bit sheer and see-through up to the light. So if you're making something like a jacket, you're going to need to do some interfacing anyway, just to give it some more structure. But really pretty stuff. It makes a very nice and comfortable kind of business wear sort of vibe. You could also do something like a slouchy cardigan out of this. That would be really pretty too. Okay, we have a couple of cottons. First up is just a vintage shirting. A lot of vintage fabrics are only 36 inches wide just due to the technology of the time. That's how wide the looms were. So 36-inch wide vintage cotton right here in sort of a mossy tile print. This is called Backsplash because, you know, grandma's house. Just a nice cotton shirting. You could also use this one for quilts. This one's called Gingerbread. It's a stretch twill. So things like trousers out of this one. It's fairly stretchy. So that gives you a little bit of ease in your pants. So if you want some shorts or trousers out of this, this would work really well. It's light enough. You could also make kind of a heavier button-up sort of thing. Just a nice cotton blend. Got another cotton twill here. This is called Cranberry Scone. So this is not stretchy. It's like a light denim. So definitely you could do trousers or skirts or shorts, that kind of thing. This might be very fun for kind of holiday vibes. Or if you're just one of those people who looks great in red. Okay, now we're into the rayons. This is a rayon twill, so it is woven in kind of that denim pattern, and it is a heavier weight rayon. You can see this is just like, it's got some weight to it. This is absolutely amazing for things like jumpers or dresses, skirts, all of those things. Swishy pants, also great out of this. Nice sturdy rayon. This is a linen look. So it's a pretty good fake. It's a poly cotton rayon blend, and they've got this really great kind of washed linen drape to it. There's no linen in it, but they're faking really well. This will be a little more durable because it has the polyester in it, and it's got this just really nice fluid drape to it. So all the things you would make with linen, you could make with this. It's kind of already pre-washed. It's like pre-softened. This is a rayon called Brownies, and it's very silky. It sort of has a sand wash texture to it and this incredible fluid drape. So swishy things, probably dresses and skirts, or a blouse out of this would be very nice. Make a blouse. It'll be so pretty. Okay, this is a crinkle rayon called Beats, and it's fairly sheer, nice and fluid. This is just for making all your standard fluid rayon, sundress type of things, skirts, dresses, swishy stuff. Okay, I have 3 of these batik rayons. They are all the same stuff. They just have different patterns. So I will hold up this one. This one's called Hydrangea. This more brown one is called Snickerdoodles, and the yellow is called Echeveria. All right, they're dyed batik rayons. So kind of the beachwear wrap skirt sort of stuff is what is often made out of this. So it's got not quite as fluid a drape as some of the other rayons I was showing you, but I think it's going to soften up with washing. So they're just very cool batiks, great for dresses, skirts, and swishy pants. Let's get into the linens. This one's called Bay Leaf, and it's kind of a nice chunky linen. This one's really nice for skirts and pants. Very sturdy, so better for those bottom weight kind of garments. You could make a blouse or dress out of this as well. It's just a little bit on the heavier side. This one's called Cobblestone. It's a little bit lighter than the last one. Still kind of in the mid-weight range. More for blouses and tops, that kind of thing, or dresses. We don't have a ton of this one. I don't know, it looks like maybe around 3 yards. So if you like it, jump on it, set an alarm right for 10 a.m. on Friday, because the stuff where we only have a couple yards usually sells out the first day, and then you're disappointed. So just put an alarm on your phone for the first Friday of every month at 10 a.m. or maybe like 9:55 Central Time, and just title it Thrifty Drop, because that's when all these things go live, and then you'll be ready. Last linen is called Cocoa, and it's the same. It's the same as the other two, really. It's kind of a mid-weight linen. So swishy pants, dresses, blouses, all of the things. Pillowcases. I love linens, like sheets, linen sheets, so good. Okay, let's do silk. So this is a laser cut silk called Boysenberry Jam. And you can see it is sheer where they laser cut it. So extremely pretty. This is just fancy. Like, this is a blouse. If we had more, I would say maybe a dress, but we don't have very much. This is, again, one of those where you got to jump on it. It'll probably be gone on day one. It's just beautiful. Just really pretty. Make you a sexy blouse. All right, and this one's called Earl Grey, and it's just more of kind of a satiny silk. it's not super shiny and it's kind of crisp. So something like a button-up blouse would be very nice out of this. You could also do a dress. It's very pretty. Not sure there's, if you're petite, you could get a dress out of this. Otherwise, maybe a jacket or blouse. All right, let's get into some wool. These are sort of basics, but they're for wardrobe workhorses that you keep around and take care of. So this is called tropical weight wool, which tropical and wool doesn't sound great, but wool breathes incredibly well. Now you can see very, very lightweight wool, very fluid. So you could do a loose trouser out of this and it would breathe and wick away like sweatiness really well. Also, wool has antibacterial properties, so your sweat would not quite be so smelly. You could also do something like a button-up shirt out of this. That would also work, or a dress or skirt. It's very versatile, but it's just like, dreamy, dreamy lightweight wool. And this one's called rattan. This one's called mushroom, and it is a wool blend twill. So it's a stretch wool. It has a little bit of spandex in it, a little bit of lycra. So it doesn't stretch this way, but it stretches this way. So it's kind of a heavy, basically like a suiting weight. It's a big bolt. Pretty much you just want to make something like trousers or a jacket, parts of a suit. That's what suiting is for. So just a nice basic color, the type of thing you can mix and match with all kinds of stuff in your wardrobe. This one's called eiderdown. Again, sort of a suiting weight fabric, and it's got a little stretch to it. Let's look. It stretches in this direction and in this direction just a little bit. So it's plenty thick enough that you can do trousers, although a little bit see-through as far as like the underwear might show through. So you might want to line it. Things like a slouchy drapey cardigan would be nice out of this, and you could also do the parts of a suit. Skirt would be good as well. That ease makes it really comfortable. This one's just called warm woolen, and this one's a little special. It's like 90% wool and then like 10%, let me just check. Yes, 10% camel hair. Camel hair is actually the down coat, not the rough outer coat of the fur, but the downy undercoat of a camel, and it is super soft. It's kind of like cashmere. Camel is kind of a luxury fiber. So all that to say, this is fancy. So we have just a kind of a houndstooth, subtle, beautiful grayish color, tweedy kind of thing. Great for making suits. It's just a suiting. So beautiful, beautiful wool blend to finish us off. That is our final fabric for this collection. Happy sewing!